motivation alone isn't enough. So I've been listening to this book from this author named Shad Helmstetter, and it's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And it's a book about self-talk and things that, again, you say when you talk to yourself, how we are conditioned to respond a certain way when things happen to us throughout the day, the way that we've been conditioned since birth to say certain things, and how those things that we say instinctively are continuing to show up in our lives. And he goes on about how you can try to change that. But the part that I want to talk about is this chapter on motivation, where he says that he doesn't really believe in motivation. However, he says that motivation does work, but only about 5% of the motivation that's out there. All the other 95% of it doesn't really work. He also says in the book that there's like multiple kinds of motivation, but there's like one that's really, really popular, and it's one that we see all the time. Think Sunday service, you got a big audience and you got a speaker. Or think motivational speaker, TED Talk kind of people. There's a few very, very popular motivational speakers who have made tons of money over the years for going and just speaking at different events, and they've had audiences pay thousands of dollars sometimes just to be able to sit in the audience and be in the presence of this amazing speaker and to experience this magic and this wisdom that they put on them in the audience, in the crowd, and that just gets them all hyped up and ready to change their life, and having them believe that there's something amazing inside of them, which there is. There is amazing things inside of me. There's amazing things inside of you. There are amazing things inside of us. So the speaker isn't wrong here, and I'm not here to condemn any of the speakers at all for what they do. I respect their hustle, and I believe that what they believe, I believe that they believe that they are doing a service, a justice, something good in the world by doing what it is that they're doing. So I do believe that. I think the issue that this author is presenting is that while that motivation is great and amazing and wonderful, it is very temporary. It doesn't last that long, because what happens when, say, you leave Sunday service, or you leave that event, you're so hyped within the first few hours of leaving that event, or that after that service. But then what happens the next day, because that motivational speaker, they've left town, they've moved on, they're on a tour. So, they're not readily available. You can't just necessarily call them up and say, hey, about your speech yesterday, I need you to motivate me today. And some of them, they actually do offer that service, but they charge a hefty fee for it, which, like I said, again, going back to it, I'm not condemning that and all that. So I think that that's amazing. If people want that, then that's what they want. And if they need that, then that's what they need. But again, this is what he's talking about in the book. So he used the example of like a coach, for example. Um, and I'm going to use that example as well. So say that you want to get fit and you want to get in the gym, and you hire like a personal coach to help you get into shape, and this personal coach is with you. They're with you, they're pushing you, they're motivating you, they're encouraging you, they're like helping you get your meals right, they're helping you get your reps right, they're just helping you get motivated. Like each and every day they send you that good morning text, or they send you that text throughout the day, or whatever it is. Like they're with you, like, motivational. That actually may not be a really good example. That actually may not be a great example. But let's say, okay, let me try a different example. So let's say that you are in sports. You're doing a sport, and you're with this coach. You're throughout the season. You're with the coach. The coach is, he's pushing you, he's encouraging you. You're training, and the coach is basically, he's pumping you up, getting you excited for the game. And throughout the season, every single game, you kill it. You kill it. And then once the season's over, the coach goes home to his or her family, and you don't see that coach for what, 4 or 5 weeks or whatever, maybe six, maybe until the next season or next year. And what happens to your motivation? Your motivation is gone because that was your motivation. And that was the example that he used to describe external motivation, and how external motivation is temporary because it's only there when you're like right there in front of it, like when it's right there in your face, like that's the motivation. So his argument is that we have to move beyond the external motivation and try to get to the internal motivation. So I just thought that was like really interesting to share. I would love to share more about what I learned in this book about motivation, because I'm actually trying to develop for myself. I'm trying to develop better self-talk, better ways of like talking to my when I have those moments. It's gonna sound weird when I say talking to myself, but like when I instinctively talk to myself, if a thought comes across my mind or whatever, and I instinctively say something, or something happens and I want to say this other thing, like I want to try to change the way that I talk to myself. Because in this book, he talks about how subconsciously, how our minds are sponges, and how things we say to ourselves, our mind is listening. And the more we say those things, um, how what is it? How meaningful, how strongly we say those things to ourselves, is our mind is eventually going to adopt those things, and it's going to become like the thing that our minds like you know produce in a sense. So hopefully that was like something insightful for you, as it was for me, as it is listening to this book and reading this book is like insightful for me. So hopefully that was insightful for you. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, if it was, just leave a comment, if you will. Also like this video, and yeah, I look forward to doing more of these. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.